In the city of Denton, there was a recent arrest of a man attempting to kidnap three women. Lifelong resident Nikki Bowden Johnson shares her perspective on the matter.
It's definitely been getting a lot more dangerous. Like, it's just kind of like alarming, especially because like usually we didn't have to worry about anything here. Like, nothing happened. But now it's like, even on Twitter, people are like, watch out for this street. Like, even recently, the cops were like, this man is like rolling up in his SUV and like holding a gun to these women and like trying to get them to get in the car. And when I saw it, I was like, huh? It's just like, where do I live now?
For local residents, it is not new to hear about kidnappings and human trafficking incidents around town.
Like kidnapping, a lot of that, like young girls, like teenage girls to like our age, early 20s. This area is hot for like trafficking because we're right on like 35.
With all the talk of kidnappings, it is not proven if any of these crimes are actually committed. Denton PD's public relations liaison, Amy Cunningham, gives a more factual view.
Kidnapping is very rare in Denton and really across the United States. In 2020, we had 101,000 calls for service just to Denton PD. That doesn't include UNT PD or TWU's police department either. Out of more than 101,000 calls for service in 2020, we received 2 reports of kidnappings.
Cunningham explains further on the 2 kidnapping cases reported last year.
One of those reports, we were unable to determine if it happened. Unfortunately, the victim was not wanting to speak with detectives and they exhausted all leads, so that investigation had to go inactive. And the other one in 2020 was where a woman was assaulted by her ex-boyfriend and he forced her into a vehicle and took her to another location against her will.
Most of the sightings of abductors normally take place at crowded local businesses.
We'll get calls about suspicious people who are at Walmart or Target or another major retailer. And a lot of the times, if that person is still there when officers arrived, there might be a mental health issue going on. It might be somebody who's experiencing homelessness, who they didn't realize how they were coming across, or it's somebody who just wasn't actively trying to kidnap somebody. So it's something that we really encourage people to go ahead and file a report if they felt that there was something that could have been an attempt to abduct them.
Another lifelong resident and Walmart employee tells what he sees while working on the job.
I've seen like a couple people just sit down and just observe, just do nothing and just look at people, and then, you know, things like that. But I haven't really seen like people being abducted or anything like that.
The many whispers of crime incidents can be seen as rumors based on who and where you are in Denton. Dion Jamerson, a student at the University of North Texas, shares his experience living in Denton these past 2 years.
I feel pretty safe. I stay pretty close to campus, and there's active like police patrols that I see. Also, we have a police officer like in our residence, so I feel pretty safe in Denton as far as that goes. It's not necessarily a lot of crime in my area, so I feel pretty safe. I also live in a predominantly white area, and I am a black gay male, so I just have to like look out for those kind of situations that I see on the news as just a black male.
In 2016, Michael Gibson, a University of North Texas professor in the design research program, led a graduate student by the name of Lisa Mercer to create a human trafficking app. In an email to me, he explained human trafficking in Denton based on their research. One of the primary routes those who are sexually trafficked from Texas's southern border is I-35, which runs through the Little geographic center of Denton County, Texas, and has at least 9 exits that allow traffic on that highway to have pretty free access to all Denton, Texas zip codes. This is one of the reasons that Lisa began to look into the problem of sexual trafficking, as it was and very much still is occurring not just in Denton, but across the 6 counties that make up the so-called Metroplex. He went on to say, One of the biggest problems Lisa discovered during the research that guided her design of the web presence and app that were titled Operation Compass was the simple fact that so many people in nice towns like Denton refuse to acknowledge that it exists, much less that it is a problem. Trafficking in Denton County poses controversy amongst residents, but one thing is for sure, it is a problem that needs to be stopped. Until then, pay attention to your surroundings. For NT Daily News, I'm Kanisha Hewlett.